Dakota's video continues playing on your phone. You don't know how long you've been sitting there in the parking lot. It's never long enough, is it, Dakota? But you know me. I've never been satisfied. On screen, Dakota smiles, almost as if he heard you. Now, you'll have to bear with me, because I'm sure this isn't the part of our story that you want to revisit, but it's important. You did so much for me after my transplant. You couldn't have done more if you donated the blood stems yourself, and I know you're always thinking about how much you could have done. But listen to me. It was more than enough. You were more than enough. And you still are. You're all I'll ever need, Teach. Oh, Dakota, you're all I'll never need too. With every heartbeat. Chapter 14. Life After. Spring to your feet as your mom enters the waiting room after Dakota's bone marrow transplant. Mr. and Mrs. Winchester. Yes? Dakota's now ready to see you. Dakota's awake? Thank you, thank you, thank you. You take 2 steps and throw your arms around your mom's waist. Mom, you did it. We gave him a high dose of chemo to zap his immune system, then did the infusion with the blood stem cells from the donor. If all goes according to plan, his body should accept the transplant and start making its own new, healthy blood cells over the next month or so. But, because we had to effectively destroy Dakota's immune system, he's been transferred to the intensive care unit. And you're sure Cody will be safe from infection in the ICU? As safe as he can be. But it does mean you'll have to visit him one at a time. I think we can handle that. Your mom turns to you. And only family is allowed at this time. Mom, I hate it, but I get it. We need to do what's best for Dakota's recovery. We can pass on a message for you if you like. Really? That'd be amazing. Tell him I love him. You do? Honestly, honey, it's like you aren't even paying attention sometimes. We'll be sure to remind him. Thank you. Your mom waits as the Winchesters gather their things. I'll see you at home later tonight, Sage. Okay, I'm gonna go stop at a friend's house on the way home, if that's okay. I know Lennox and Mateo are anxious to hear news. Of course, sweetheart. Just make sure you're home by curfew. You watch as your mom leads Dakota's parents through the double doors to the ICU. You're so relieved that Dakota is doing well after the procedure, but you can't shake the feeling that you need to see him for yourself. Half an hour later. You're in Lennox's house, filling her and Mateo in on Dakota's procedure. I can't believe your mom let you go inside the room before the transplant. Yeah, that's pretty badass. Too bad she won't let me visit him now. The family-only rule might seem pretty harsh, but it is pretty important that Dakota stays isolated while his immune system recovers. Have either of you been in the ICU before? I was there for a bit after my amputation. It was definitely the worst part of my time in the hospital, although that probably had more to do with the fact that I'd lost my leg. It can be pretty boring there. They don't even let you use your cell phone. Then how are we supposed to cheer Dakota up? Actually, I had one idea. What if we made a sequel to Dark Pact? Dakota's horror movie? Yeah, we can record the whole thing, give it to his parents to show him. It's not gonna be good. None of us are filmmakers. That's okay. Dakota could probably use a laugh. Plus, what half matters is that he knows we're thinking of him. It's a good idea, Mateo. And what do you say? Ready to flex those acting muscles again? Create a fun sequel to Dark Pact to cheer up Dakota during his recovery. You'll even be able to leave him a special message at the end. Cheer up Dakota with your friends. You can't make a sequel without the star. I'm in. So, we don't have a script or a plan. How are we gonna do this? Easy. Improv all the way. What if we give Eleanor an identical twin sister? Perfect. That way Dakota can't complain about continuity errors. But her name... Twin should be named Emma. Emma. I like it. She's gonna be all normal and boring until ghosts. See? Who needs a script? I think your aspiring screenwriter boyfriend would argue that we still need a script, but or at least a screen list that tells us where to shoot. Well, we can figure that out. There's the park down the street. Or we can film at the creepy overpass. This is a ghost story after all. How creepy are we talking here? Creepy enough to look good on camera, not so creepy that it's not safe. Well, in that case, I think we should film at the overpass. Works for me. Shall we? Gather everything you need to make the video, then follow Lennox and Mateo out the door. 10 minutes later, you arrive at the nearby freeway overpass. It's in the outskirts of the park, so it's not totally secluded, but it's definitely creepy. Are we sure this place isn't actually haunted? Nope, but how much would Dakota love it if we managed to get a real ghost on camera? He'll only get to love it if we live to tell the tale. Lennox pulls out her phone and hands it to Mateo. You can do the filming. I'll be the ghost who wants to possess Eleanor's twin sister, Emma. How are you planning to do that? If I told you, we wouldn't get a natural reaction out of you. What if I wanted to act? We could switch off. Maybe there's a scene where the ghost talks to her ghost friend? To get a ghostly perspective, Dakota will love it. The three of you step up and set up, making sure Mateo has a good shot of you. And action! Lennox sucks out of the frame as Mateo aims his camera at you. You suddenly missing Dakota's pre-prepared scripts and storyboards as your mind goes completely blank. Get it together, Sage. You're just a normal college student, walking alone under a freeway and overpass in the dead of night. You take a beat to get into character, and then... I knew I shouldn't have let Mary leave the party with that guy. I have to walk back to the dorms alone. Emma... Who's there? You whip your head around frantically as you're searching for the source of the spooky voice. You desperately try to ignore Lennox's absurd attempt to stay out of frame as Mateo haphazardly moves the camera around. Mateo, stop with the shaky cam! I'm an Arthurian. You can't tell me what to do. Stay calm. Take a deep breath through your nose and focus on your role. I know you're there. Show yourself. Emma... Kyle, if this is your idea of a joke, I know what happened to your sister. My... Eleanor? No. Yes. Alex jumps out and grabs you. Ah! Mateo sighs and lowers the camera. Cut! Len, you're supposed to stay out of frame. Ghosts don't literally grab people. Well, maybe they do in this movie. But my vision! I think Dakota will love it either way. Exactly. So why mess it with a good thing? By which I mean my vision. Fine, we'll do it the boring way. I'm not doing that take again. Maybe you're not the ghost this time. Maybe Emma just thought she heard a ghost, but it was really her friend. Sounds good and cost effective. Really cost effective? You're not even spending a penny yet. An hour later, the three of you are satisfied with all the spooky footage you've gotten. It might not be as good as Dark Pact, but it's the thought that counts. This is definitely going to make Dakota's day. There's just one thing left to do. Tell our boy how much we miss him. Mateo flips open the phone to the front camera and raises it so all three of you are in frame. What's up, Mara Leach? We hope you like our dark sequel. You make filmmaking seem so easy, but clearly we're lost without you. Speak for yourself. My ghost performance deserves an award. Yeah, a Razzie. We miss you, Dakota. But don't worry, we're looking after Sage for you. Hey. Whether she thinks she needs it or not. Just focus on kicking cancer's ass for good, okay? We'll see you soon, Dakota. I should mouth. I love you. Lennox catches you out of the corner of her eye. You two are so cheesy. Thanks. Mateo stops recording and hands the phone back to Lennox. We can edit the scenes a little before sending it to Miss W in the morning. What are you talking about? My cinematography is so perfect, it doesn't need any editing. I hope Dakota doesn't disown us all for ruining his film franchise. There's only one way to find out. The three of you laugh as you head back to Lennox's house. The next afternoon, you get a text from Miss Winchester's phone. Dakota loved your video, especially the ending. It was very sweet. I'm so glad my boy found someone like you. I'm so glad I found him. Thanks again for delivering it for us. My pleasure, dear. It's sweet. A few days later, you and Amy find posters for prom plastered all over the hallway. You're invited to a Starry Night prom Saturday, Willow Creek High, auditorium 7 p.m. Everyone's getting hype. Are you still going? Probably not. I don't want to go without Dakota. Even if his oncologist cleared him from the ICU today, he probably wouldn't be strong enough to go in time. That sucks, I'm sorry. It's okay. Being with Dakota is totally worth it. I'll probably spend the night at the hospital with him, binging classic prom movies. For a minute there I read prawns. Listen, shut up. Like Pretty and Prank. I think Carrie is more Dakota style. How's he doing since the procedure? Okay, I think. He doesn't have access to his phone, so I get all the updates from Mrs. Winchester or my mom. Dakota's still pretty weak, and the side effects haven't worn off yet, but overall, the oncologist is happy with the progress so far. It must be killing you not to be able to talk to him. That's the understatement of the year. We made a little film for Dakota to cheer him up, but it's not the same as being able to see him in person. But Dakota is keeping his eyes on the prize, graduation. It's still a ways off, and his doctors seem to think it's a reasonable goal, so fingers crossed. It's such a bummer Dakota has to miss out on so much of his senior year already, especially prom. He probably would have been on court. The chance to wear a crown and have a dramatic speech, he would have loved that. Hey, maybe we can still make it happen. We can hold a prom at the hospital. That way all the teens who are missing out on high school dances can come. Amy, that's a brilliant idea. You're a genius. I know. So, who do we talk to make that happen? Your mom? Actually, I have someone else in mind. Miss Batra. I'm gonna call it. The next afternoon. You and Amy are sitting in Hope Springs' office talking to Miss Batra. I called it. You want the foundation to pay for a prom here in the hospital? Only partially. We're planning to fundraise for most of it, but we need a backup plan if we don't make enough. We mostly need your connections to help us convince the hospital staff to let us do it. I don't know. It's such a big ask, Sage. We know, but think about all the patients we could help. So many of them are deprived of normal high school experiences. Like Dakota and Mateo. This lets them feel like, for one night, they're just like every other teen. Isn't that worth a little effort on our part? That's true. Plus, you saw how much of a success Mateo's goodbye party was. This is just a bigger and better version of that. Miss Batra sits back and looks at you, her face inscrutable as she considers your proposal. I think you'll do it. Shut up. It's a wonderful idea. So you'll help? Count me in, and I'm sure the Foundation's board would be willing to give you a modest budget, regardless of your fundraising efforts. Thank you. That's amazing. Thank you, Miss Berger. It's my pleasure, Sage. Now, I'd best go have conversation with the hospital board. Feel free to use the Hope Springs office to plan, Sage. Just log up when you're done. Will do. Turn to Amy with a grin as Miss Batra disappears. We did it. Not quite. We, have to actually plan the damn thing. And for that, we'll need reinforcements. Lennox and Mateo? A few days later. Oh, that and... The two kids from school, Jaden and Simone. You and Amy enter the Hope Springs office to find Lennox and Mateo already waiting for you. Finally. Oh, were you waiting long? No complaining the moment she sees people in just Lennox's style. Amy, meet Lennox and Mateo. They know Edenbrook like the back of their hands. Yeah, I've heard a lot about you. Yeah, Dakota's told us a lot about you too. I hope he mentioned that I apologized. I think it was thrown in there somewhere. Lennox crosses her arms over her chest and glares at Amy. Then what are you bringing to the table? Hey, Amy is a world-class planner. With her organizational skills, this will be the smoothest party planning session anyone has ever seen. Also, I'm not rude to strangers, which might be useful considering we're going to need to win a lot of them over. Lennox looks Amy up and down, then grins. I like her. Oh, God, now there are two of them. Prepare for trouble. And make it double. Sage, make it stop! Okay, we should focus. Amy pulls open her laptop and starts typing furiously. I've taken the liberty of starting an ideas doc. Everyone's phone beep as she sends out the link. Whoa, is there room for any more ideas on there? Of course, but first things first, we need a theme. How about Forever Young? You know, since most of these kids aren't gonna get a chance to grow up. Forever young, I wanna be forever young. That's a little morbid and hard to decorate. Well, we don't have to tell them why it's called Forever Young, and Dakota would love it. Plus, having an abstract theme might actually make it easier to decorate. We could throw up anything, and no one could argue it doesn't match. The prom isn't just for Dakota, but that's a good point about the decorations. I'll add Forever Young to the list. Any other ideas? What about Happily Ever After? I know a lot of these kids won't get their fairy tale ending, but maybe this dance can be a little glimpse of one. Kinda sappy, but I don't hate it. I was also thinking something like Night Under the Stars, since it's pretty similar to our high school prom. Well, that would be nice. Also, Dakota has a real thing for stars. You smile at the memory of you and Dakota sitting beneath the universe in the planetarium. It's a perfect theme. Alright, we have 3 solid ideas, and that I think the hospital board will approve. I say we put it to a vote. I wanna be forever young. Let's go with Night Under the Stars. I wish we could see it, though. Happily Ever After, yeah. I'm really feeling the Forever Young. You can tell I'm singing it, but Night Under Stars. Night Under Stars was tailor-made for Dakota. Glad you agree, Sage. Amy counts votes. Night Under the Stars it is. Okay, next item on the agenda, food and drinks. I was thinking some classic punch, plus with our bad budget from Hope Springs, we could have some cute mocktails on the side. Ooh, like strawberry daiquiris and mint mojitos. And sparkling apple cider to toast with. I'll make sure to bring my flask. Just don't get caught by adults or children. I won't. What did you have in mind for food, Amy? Does Dakota have any favorite restaurants? We could do some simple catering. Maybe get a cake from a local bakery. Definitely the diner. Especially if we can get Beatrice to make an appearance with milkshakes. Oh yeah, he loves those milkshakes. Done and done. Now what about music? Oh my god, I just had a brilliant idea. Oh, it was bound to happen eventually. Shush you. One of us are DJ. Hey, oh my god, did I just become Cartman? Oh Jesus. When Missy became DJ, Amanda having the kind of control over the dance. It would save us money that we could put together towards more decorations of food. What do you think, Sage? Forever young, I wanna be forever young. Why not Mateo? I'm in, but only if Mateo does it. I hope you're prepared for an evening of bad show tunes and 80s hair bands. Hey, Hey, nothing wrong with the 80s. I'm counting on it. Okay, music check. Amy looks up from her notes, smiling. We keep up the pace and we'll be out of here in no time. I thought music was the end of the list. Ah, good one, Mateo. Chuckles. Mateo whispers to you. But I wasn't joking. By the end of the afternoon, almost all the details for the dance have been figured out. We just have to run everything by Miss Batra and make sure the check clears. Yeah, we should be good to go. Not bad for a day's work. Yeah, I only wanted to strangle the rest of you like 3 times. Aw, Lynn, you're growing soft in your old age. Can it, Jon Snow? Oh, is that my new nickname? Because I came back from the brink of death. I love it. No, it's because you know nothing. Too late, this is my headcanon now. You look around the table at your friends, your heart filled with warmth. Thanks for your help, everyone. We're gonna give Dakota a prom to remember. Yeah, the lucky guy. How many people can say their prom comes to them? I know it's not the same as going to your high school prom, but I don't think Dakota will even miss it. Although there is one thing we could do to put this dance over the top, for Dakota's sake. What's that? We can invite his friends from Willow Creek. You mean like Jaden and Heather? It'll be just like the fall carnival all over again. Amy blushes at the mention of Heather's name. That would be fun. Anyone who wants to come support Dakota, the proceeds from the tickets can go right back to the Hope Springs. It would be nice to get more kids our age at this thing. And I'm sure Dakota would love to see more friendly faces. And Amy clearly wants Heather there, so this is a good chance to play a little matchmaker. Invite your friends to Edenbrook Prom to complete Dakota's perfect night. I thought the whole point of prom was to literally and figuratively bring everyone there. We talked about this at the beginning. I'm confused, but moving on. Let's do it. It can be a bonus surprise for Dakota on the big night. Sounds like you two have this under control. Yeah, Sage and I will take care of Willow Creek crowd, but stay in touch in case there are any last-minute catastrophes. Yes, ma'am. The next day... Ah, hey there, I'm Catman. You and Amy try to track down all of your friends during lunch to get them to buy tickets to the Edenbrook Prom. Let's start with the AV Club. Oh yeah? Why do you want to go there? The reason wouldn't happen to rhyme with feather, would it? No comment. You lead the way into the AV Club room and find Heather and Jaden finishing a taped broadcast. Oh, and that's that on that. Cut. Jaden, I told you to sign off phrase doesn't work. It's too confusing. But if Wesley gets a sign off phrase, then I want one too. You can't both have one. Hey, you two. Sage, perfect timing. What do you think of my sign-off phrase? I think Heather's right, it's kind of confusing. But if Wesley is going to have one, you definitely should have one too, just not that one. Okay, that makes sense. Heather moused to you. Thank you. So, I don't know if you heard, but Dakota isn't going to be out of the hospital in time for Willow Creek's prom. Man, that sucks. Are you okay, Sage? I'm bummed, but okay. Actually, we decided that if Dakota can't come to the prom, we'll bring the prom to Dakota. We're planning a big dance at Edenbrook for the sick kids who are stuck there, but we wanted to make sure to invite some of Dakota's school friends. So, what do you say, you two? The money is going to a good cause, and we'd love for you to come to the prom with us. Are you sure? Heather tucks a strand of hair behind her ear. She shyly looks at Amy. Positive. Anything for D-Dog. Perfect. Here are your invites. But they didn't pay for them. The theme is Night Under the Stars. Sick. We'll be there. Jaden puts his wallet back in his pocket, giving you a sideways glance. So, is anyone else from the school scoring an invite to this thing? We're trying to hit all of Dakota's closest friends, but AV Club was our first stop. Why? What's up? Oh, nothing. I was just wondering if anyone else got tickets yet. Like Emily? What? No. Why does everyone keep saying that? because it's painfully obvious that you like her? We haven't seen her yet, but we'll see what we can do. Thanks. Later, you spot Emily getting some books out of her locker. Emily, will you support Dakota at the hospital dance? Oh my god, of course. When is it? You hand her the invite with the date at the top. Oh no, I have a family dinner that night. It's my uncle's birthday. Screw your uncle. Oh, you can't come? Jaden will be devastated. Jaden, why? Well, you didn't hear it from me, but he kinda has a crush on you, and he really wanted to ask you to the dance at the Edenbrook prom. Oh, that's so sweet of him. And he's like super hot. Maybe you could swing by the hospital after your family dinner. Yeah, Jade would love that. Well, then I'll definitely try to make it. And here, I want to support the foundation either way. You take her money with a grateful smile. By the end of the day, you and Amy have handed out all the invitations. At this rate, Dakota won't even realize he's not at a Willow Creek prom. Thanks for helping me score and everyone from her invite from everyone at School Ames. Of course, that's what BFFs are for. Grin to each other as you walk through the parking lot. With all of our friends there, Dakota's gonna have the perfect prom. A few days later. You still haven't been allowed to see Dakota in person. That's right, he's gonna forget what I look like. Listen, at this rate, your hair should have started growing back now. You're making your way through the hospital to go to the bus stop when... Siege, wait up. I have a message for you. The nurse offers you a handwritten letter. It's from Dakota. Hey, Teach. I'm sorry I've been so cooped up since my procedure. I figured I'd take advantage of being forced back into the old dark ages and write you a proper old school love letter. I've been missing you like crazy. It feels like an eternity since I've seen your beautiful face, and I don't know how I'm gonna get through the next few weeks. I guess I'll have to just keep myself busy thinking of all the places I want to take you when I'm finally out of here. I've already got a list of 100,000 things, and we're gonna do all of them. I wish going to prom could be one of them, but losing out on one night is worth the lifetime of adventures I'm going to take you on, if you're up for it. Yours, Dakota. You look up at the nurse, happy tears pricking at your eyes. That was some letter. Thank you for bringing it to me. My pleasure. He's a good kid. Look, I'm not really supposed to do this, but I can arrange for you to call, for him to call you from the landline in the ICU, if you want. He's been in a lot of pain today, but I think he'd love to hear your voice. Plus, I could give him the good news about the Edenbrook prom. Duh. That would be amazing. Thank you. Oh, happy to help. Just follow me to the nurse's station. The nurse lets you sit behind the nurse's station and points to the phone. Pick up when that rings. Will do. The nurse disappears, and a few minutes later, the phone rings. Hello? Hey, Teach. What's the halves? Dakota. I've missed you. I've missed you too, so freaking much. And not just because I'm bored out of my mind in here. But that's part of it. Maybe, but you'd be bored too if they forced you to live in a glass box. Don't worry, I won't be throwing stones anytime soon. So, how are you feeling? Honestly, pretty terrible. But apparently that's normal and therefore good. My body's a wreck trying to deal with whatever this chemo did to it. And I'm not sure I want to even think about what my bones are doing. And you're feeling okay about all of that? If you're asking about my mental health, I'd say I'm actually doing pretty good in that department. I know that whatever my body is trying to do right now is is part of the path to recovery. It might suck, but at least it's the right path. So, you're okay then? Yeah, I've never been so damn bored in my entire life, but at least I'm well enough to be aware of how bored I am, so I'll take that as a win. I'm glad to hear it. Dakota clears his throat. I'm sorry I can't take you to the prom like we planned. Yeah, what are you talking about? Of course you're taking me to prom. Sage. Oh, not the Willow Creek prom, but who cares about that one? Then what? We're throwing you a prom right here in the hospital. Seriously? You're actually throwing me a prom? Now, I know this isn't the promposal we talked about, but will you? Yes. I didn't even have to finish asking. You don't have to. I'd love to go to prom with you. You're incredible, you know that, Teach. Dakota, I just want to see you happy. Well, you might not be able to see me right now, but I'm really freaking happy. I'll take your word for it. You can hear murmuring on the other side of the phone. Sounds like Dakota is talking to someone. Sorry, Teach. I gotta go. Thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk to me. Trust me, the pleasure is all mine. I love you. Not as much as I love you. You hang up the phone with a small sigh. You pull Dakota's letter out again, reading through it once more. You hold it to your heart for a long moment. Time flies by in a whirlwind of schoolwork and prom preparation. Until finally the big day arrives. I can't believe Dakota still hasn't been cleared from the ICU. At this point, he's really cutting it close. But I'm not gonna let negative thoughts ruin my mood on today of all days. Start getting ready, but you can't help the way your stomach twists with every passing hour. Finally, you can't wait any longer. It's time to put on your dress. Zzz, zzz. Just saying, you get an incoming video chat request. Dakota? Hey, Teach. Notice anything different about me? Study his face, his smile, his eyes twinkling with mischief. You're in your old room. Ah, got it in one. No more ICU for me, which means you can come to prom tonight. It's a sweet book. So, without further ado, thank you all for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Head down description below, links to social media, Discord, and a few links to support me and my content. And pretty much we just have a couple chapters left, which is super awesome, because this is one of the actual good books that I've been actually reading on Choices as of late. So hopefully you did enjoy. Again, please share. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you all on the next video. Peace, and much love.